Oh yeah. Good evening, wherever your evening may be starting, or a good day if you're not watching while we recording. It is the dawn of May days, and if you know anything about this show and the people on this show, May is the most important month in the world, with April, in April and August coming in second.
Yeah.
All right, and and the way we do May is the way we do wrestling, man. We do, we talk, and we execute like nobody else in the world. So as you prepare to get all of this, pause, possibly. No, we want to welcome you to the first Black Champ podcast, and I am yes, the pick, Hacksaw, him dug in the podcast Intercontinental Champion, Camp from the Port.
I am JR Bang. Make sure you rate, like, subscribe, download wherever you get your favorite podcast.
Yeah.
Make sure you go ahead and get that merch.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, FBC.pod, FBC_POD. First off, shouts out to the Barbershop Digital. We had a dope, like my week started off on Thursday, as we talked about here on the pod, where we had the draft party. No Chicago Bears draft party. Shouts out to Barbershop Digital, 79 for Hallis. Great night there. I was saving my voice all week, so we had that, and then I was telling you off of the mic. The wife kicks off Maydays.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
May 1st.
So tomorrow we starts off with the wife's 37th birthday. And then we're going to get into your birthday. Then we're going to get into my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh, and Chris's birthday, May 9th.
It is May 9th. You know yes.
Hey, it's gonna be May.
Yeah. Yes, so we got my cousin. We got my cousin Nick. His birthday is on Cinco de Mayo.
Okay. Rest in peace, Curtis. His birthday was May 6th. And shout to my uncle, who's actually 20 years older than me, exactly 20 years. His birthday is May 4th.
Okay. We got my cousin Tammy, my cousin Victoria, my cousin Christy. All our birthdays are like right around each other. It's like the 19th, the 20th, it's the 18th, the 20th, the 21st, 22nd.
Okay. And then on top of that, with y'all, the homegirl Bria, the homegirl Goldberg, the DJ / whatever she want to do with the vintage vibe thing and like stripping on the internet. Oh, and then closing out May days, my pops, my cousin Troy, and my mom. We ain't mentioned no celebrities yet.
No.
But look what we got to do in May. Look at that.
A lot of shit. So shows might be spotty.
Man.
Well, shows will be spotty because I have to go to the Tom Joyner cruise starting on the 20th.
Okay.
So this year would be the first year that I spend my birthday without no family.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah.
This is super milestone for you in possibly a bad way.
Man. That's all I'm gonna say about that, just in case people are watching. So let's go ahead and get
protect the bag at all costs.
Yeah, so let's get to this pod. And matter of fact, if we don't start off with this, y'all gonna say this ain't first Black Champ. Apparently, the WWE is being sued by a young lady named Brittany Abrams, a Black woman who was a former writer on the staff of WWE. She is suing Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, among others, in a racial discrimination and retaliation lawsuit.
Yes.
So apparently she's alleging some things that were said through Slack. She kept the records. So she has receipts.
What they say? I got the receipts, bitch. Is that what when they pull the oxygen and shit and they say that?
Yes. Okay. I got the receipts.
Oh, I got the receipts, bitch.
Slack me if you want to. But yeah, man, she is alleging some things where I'm not surprised. Let's go through this list.
Yeah.
And what I want to do is instead of going down the whole list and then picking some shit, we're gonna go down the list of some stuff and say, is she protecting black people or is this kind of racist? Because there's a difference, ladies and gentlemen.
It is.
Difference. We as black people look at things from a cultural perspective.
Yes.
So some things could be cultural, especially if we present it. But if somebody white presents it, it may come off non-cultural. It might come off racist.
Yes.
Now, let me start this off by saying we're on record here on First Black Champ saying not only WWE, but racism has ran rampant in every organization you know because of stereotypes and holding people back.
Absolutely.
So we know this. Let's just start off with what you see on screen.
Right.
Yokozuna was a Samoan man.
Right.
Ooh, they was like, let's make him a Japanese
sumo wrestler. And he's a Samoan. I mean, hey. Let's also go with Michael P.S. Hayes. Aubrey right on time.
Yeah, he says with the hard R.
Yeah. He called it Mark Henry. Legitimately, the world's strongest man is in the Hall of Fame for being as such a nigger.
Yeah.
We
can go to Triple H and the whole thing with Booker T.
Yes, WrestleMania 19 billing, right?
Yeah, but we can also go to WCW, the whole Lex Luger and Ron Simmons shit.
Buddy, I still kind of want to fight Harley Race, even though he way past his prime and can't do shit to me at this point.
Matter of fact, let's just say this. There have been so many white men, American white men, who's played Russians.
Yeah. Imagine my surprise when all the Koloffs are probably like Williams or Jones, and they from like Minnesota or something. They were supposed to be Russian when I was 9.
So everybody gets it. Everybody gets racism and stereotypes in wrestling. There's stereotypes though, then there's racism. There's holding people back because of the color of their skin. Yes. There's a multitude of things that happens outside of the ring where we all know and understand. So look, I understand y'all love wrestling, but let's just call it spade a spade. Your favorite wrestling company has dealt with racism, stereotypes, racist stereotypes, one way, shape, or form of another. So ain't nobody got a clean hand here, especially when there's tape of Mr. Fuji calling Classy Freddie Blassie a cracker. So,
you're a cracker.
Yeah, so or just go look at Greg the Hammer Valentine. He called. He was very racist towards Junkyard Dog.
He said he was going to make JYD a black spot in the ring.
Called him a mean old nasty black man.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, and that is he tapped into his childhood on that. When you call somebody, you mean old nasty black man, when you consider like a 6-year-old saying that in like Jonesboro, Arkansas or somewhere, like you feel like that is where that's going to come from.
Goddamn right. So we're going to go through some of the things that were alleged.
Okay.
And we're going to say, hey, this was racist. Or, hey, this is just protecting black men or women.
And you know what, PSA? I'm potentially here to argue with you all under the name and act of wrestling.
Oh, yeah. So
let's go.
All right. So we're going to start off with apparently there was a pitch for Reggie, a.k.a. Scripps, to dress up in drag on television. Ladies and gentlemen, is that racist? Or is that a bit...
I don't think that's racist. I just think that's stupid clout chasing. Because If you hop on Instagram or on TikTok, you see nothing but young black men dressing up as women, saying what they mama do, what the girl do on the first day or the last day when she don't want to give you no box. Like there's so many black men dressed in drag in some way that I'm not even gonna deem that racism at this point. That's how you get the likes and the views up per the generation behind us.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that's racist. That's just protecting black men. Like you
Yeah.
said, you go through social media and there's some black dude that's dressed up as a black chick being hella stereotypical.
Yeah.
So I can see a white guy going up on Instagram and saying, "Hey, this is actually funny. Let's use this."
Yeah.
But I can also see this young lady saying, "Hey, I don't want to see a black man in drag," and I don't blame her.
Yeah, and I'm with that too. But when that's how a couple guys got on Wild 'N Out, dude could be like, well, I mean, hey, maybe this the next level though.
Yeah. So let's move on. Let's move on. In spring 2021, there was an alleged crocodile hunter type character pitched for former WWE superstar Shane Thorne, who was part of Retribution, and he was in a tag team in NXT. Thorne, who is Australian, would hunt Reggie. According to the suit, the angle was pitched by lead writer Ryan Callahan. Holding Reggie captive in cages was also discussed. Apparently, Callahan is currently the vice president of WWE SmackDown. Is this racist or is this protecting the black man?
Hear me out. You already know some shit going when you say hear me out, right? Hear me out. This ain't racist. This is the Skinner reboot. Because Skinner was the crocodile hunter wrestler guy. They just never really did shit with the actual character layers. Now, we can look at this two ways. Hunting Reggie because he's black, or hunting Reggie because he's a good talent that happens to be black. Because the flip side we would run is this. If he hunted Bron Breakker, it would be Reggie deserves better all on Twitter. So I'm cautious with how we just gonna throw racism out like it's the big joker, and sometimes it's really the queen of clubs. It's like, yeah, I cut that.
Yeah, I'm going to lean on protecting the black man here. I don't necessarily deem this as racism.
Yeah.
But I see the connotation.
Yes.
I like just knowing history and knowing what has happened with black babies and alligators and things of that nature. I get that. But the way I see this, I think she's being more protective of black men instead of this being racist. Is this something that I would do? No. But I'm not going to call this racist.
Yeah, the crossroad when I read this, because we shared this in the chat and all that. My deal was when I read this was, is the character the same no matter who he does it to? And does it make a difference if he's black? Because look, right now, currently, the NXT champion happens to be black, and his name is Carmelo Hayes. Everybody's on the hunt for the title that happens to be held by the black guy.
Yeah, you know.
I think when you explain things broadly, it's up in the air. But if this writer, whoever this is, because I think he was nameless throughout this whole transcript, if he says, So yeah, we'll have him hunt him down, and then we'll do the show in Biloxi, and then we'll put a noose around his neck, and then we're like, hold up, whoa, what the fuck you talking about? We're not doing nooses in Biloxi. What are you talking about? Yeah, well, I figure we'll have him throw him over the Selma Bridge. Wait, what? What? See, that's racist. To me, this is just, well, it can be considered character building for a guy that needs a gimmick.
I hit on anything that has been racist to us,
right?
But we can see some of the connotations of protecting black men.
Yes.
All right. So she said that she also emailed Callahan and complained about Apollo Cruz's exaggerated Nigerian accent. Cruz is Nigerian or of Nigerian descent. However, he was made to speak in the accent in 2021, where he also carried a spear to the ring. I'll start this off, Kent, by saying this. That was the best thing that ever happened to Apollo Cruz, Jack.
Hey.
I don't know about this one.
Hey.
This one, I would consider the overprotection of the black man.
Yeah, man.
This one is unless Apollo Cruz was like, unless we find out Apollo Cruz is like, nah, I ain't fucking with this because I ain't fucking with y'all like that.
Right.
That's one thing. But if she watched SmackDown and she heard Apollo Cruz hit us with the Nigerian daddy talk, and she was like, oh no, I don't know about this. To me, Apollo Cruz should still be doing that shit. Right now, he's lifeless. They got Apollo Cruz, who's back on SmackDown now. He was part of the draft. He's on SmackDown now. We'll get to the draft later. But he before then had no character. He was just a swole black guy.
Yeah. They
gave him the Nigerian rub. He came down there with the Black Panther orb rub thing or whatever. He had dude from the Main Event movie as his bodyguard and shit. He beat Big E at WrestleMania with that accent. I really thought that Apollo Cruz was a couple of wins away from being in the upper middle card full time. They took that accent away from him. He started talking like he was a black dude from New Jersey that just got Nigerian parents. And they sent his ass to SmackDown with some weird ass character that I still don't get. He needs that Nigerian accent again.
Listen, man. Pandemic Apollo Cruz was the most lit he's ever been. He hadn't been that hot since the first NXT TakeOver Brooklyn where he debuted. I think it's the first one that he debuted in, not the second one. And apologies if I got the wrong takeover. Listen, man. This is again why I don't like wrestlers being themselves on social media. Because too many of us now want to separate, dissect, and nitpick even. I'm going there. Nitpick about what's appropriate for black people to do or not. And dare I say, that is the reason why black people are where they are in the world of professional wrestling. I'm going to double down on that as we keep going down this list because I got other things to say. But man, listen, Apollo Cruz was not hotter than when he was Nigerian, wearing the green and white, showing people the steel, and it was resonating while Michael Cole was talking them up, talking them out, Corey Graves co-signing. Like that was, to me, going to be the next superstar in that odd space where they were still trying to figure out, is Montez Ford going to gain that 20 to 40 pounds that we're asking him to gain? And now look what happened. Big E gets hurt. Kofi's hurt. They don't use Xavier Woods as much. Carmelo Hayes is in NXT. Who's filling the superstar black void right now? I'll tell you this. It should have been Apollo Crews by the way he was acting in the summer of 2020.
I even go as far as to say that the current Intercontinental Champion is just the German version of what we were getting with Apollo Crews. And the issue that y'all had was they changed his name from Walter to Gunther. Y'all ain't really understand that Gunther got a lot of bodies on that name too,
right?
When it comes to Nazi shit. So,
yeah.
Hey, now this one right here, I think they tweaked.
Okay.
All right, so the plaintiff and a fellow black writer, Kyla Silvers, was allegedly tasked with pitching a love storyline with Aaliyah and Mansoor and Angel Garza.
Mm-hmm.
Storyline would allege that Mansoor,
Saudi Seth, for all our first black champ listeners.
Now, mind you, he was 5 years old in 01.
Mm-hmm.
But he would reveal that he was secretly behind the 9/11 attacks. And Vince McMahon pitched an idea for Mustafa Ali that was just as bad, which reportedly led to Ali requesting his release in 2022.
Mm.
Ali was denied that request, and he's continually, on TV. He's a free agent now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't think it's much to say here.
Yeah.
That's racist. That's terrible. That is the dumbest shit that I've heard ever come out in the WWE. For a company who was the first sports organization to perform after 9/11, to have The Rock have the mic in front of him, have all of the wrestlers at the top of the ramp, for Vince McMahon and company to play America the Beautiful before every WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that there's been a lot of stereotypical shit when it comes to Muslims, Muslim-like, in the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
You could go back to Iron Sheik and how low-key, how racist that was.
Oh, yeah.
But now,
You know what I'm saying? With the big, whatever them things is. Hammers.
But now it is let's just say it is 2021.
Okay. 20 years later, never forget.
We can't be doing storylines that involves Muslims saying, hey, I put them on game with the 9/11 shit. That right there, somebody deserves to get fired, Kemp. That person should not have a job in the WWE at this point. If this shit was 1991, I get it. Because Sergeant Slaughter said, fuck America, and became an Iraqi sympathizer and was talking that Saddam Hussein shit while holding the world championship. But we had a savior go fuck him up. You can't do that storyline in the mid-card with Mansoor now, because even where you put it at, it sounds even more fucking racist. Because you're giving mid-carders this storyline like we gonna forget it. Nigga, if Mansoor, I'll say this and then I'll let you go.
Okay.
Because all I'm thinking is this. Let's say, for instance, they did the storyline. Who the fuck Mansoor gonna fight for that's going to hold America's best interest at heart? No fucking body. Because the storyline involved a Mexican wrestler and two Arab people. So you would have went to Saudi Mania 3 with Mansoor being like, yo, I did that shit over there. That would have been all bad, fam.
You know,
Fuck. That would have.
I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I see the play. I see the play. Listen, hey, you know what? Hey, you right. It's racist, but hey, it's about time we talk about racism with somebody else other than black people in wrestling.
Well, hey.
So let's start there, right? Shout out to my man Saudi Seth, aka Mansoor. Listen, somebody obviously is trying to keep their job and impress Vince McMahon to get to the head of the writer's room by bringing back everything Muhammad Hassan was supposed to do, but he got threatened in real life. All right? I want y'all to know things like that. See, wrestling is different for me than it is for a lot of y'all out there. I might powerbomb somebody on the concrete or some stairs or somebody. I might try to clothesline from hell somebody. But you know what? I'm here to separate the madness from reality sometimes. And you know what? Dare I say, I would love a good 9/11 story with anybody that y'all believe is old enough to even tip them off. Now, if you thought a kindergartner would have tipped him off, tipped off the people to the plane, that's on you. That's on you not Googling and you not living your life correctly.
So basically what you're saying is, if you dumb enough to believe the shit, when you know this is fake.
Yeah, hey, where's your life? Where are your values? You know what I'm saying? I was a teenager when 9/11 happened. I just turned 20. No, I just turned 20 when that happened. So, and you know what? Hey, to me, they say racism. I say a good chance for Chad Gable to get over. I mean, Jason Jordan can't do it respectfully, you know, but what about Chad Gable and Otis? You know what I'm saying? Like they need a phone. If he was coming out to Kurt Angle 2K music, like the other American anthem.
All right, so we're gonna go back. We're gonna move forward. We're gonna come back.
Okay, for sure.
Because I don't agree with you, but I agree with you.
Okay, I like where this is going.
It's gonna take a bit to explain.
For sure.
We're gonna move on.
Let's do it.
Wow, though. Fuck. Damn.
Hey, hey, listen. Hey, somebody trying to lead the writer's room with content like that is all I'm saying. And
now the last biggie was Bianca Belair allegedly expressed her frustration with WWE writer Chris Dunn, who, according to the lawsuit, scripted Bianca Belair to say, don't make me take off my earrings and beat your ass. The lawsuit alleged that Belair told Dunn on 3 different occasions that she did not want to say that line, but he never listens to me. He puts it in every week. Now reading that, getting that context, what are your thoughts?
Okay. One, the line itself is corny, right? Based on where Black people are in life and what we represent, it's corny. But on the flip side of that coin, Bianca Belair's character is a little flat. And to be honest, it's been a little flat since she got off of the, I can be, you know, a very fierce hood bitch if I need to be. Putting the line in there, even though she's repeatedly expressed her, just ill feelings towards it, that's sucker shit. I don't think you do that. I think this proves that you really don't know Black people outside of like old, like 90s sitcoms and things like that of that nature. Like that's where he's getting his Black information. And he's probably looking at them and think like, yeah, you know, you can be like the neck snapping, finger waving thing. It's like, but you gave that to Carmella, so stop. Right.
Right.
So I think that is That's prejudice. And for those that don't understand it and think I'm probably caping, get a dictionary, right? Because there's a difference between prejudice and racism. Prejudice is assuming that people are a certain way and they do a certain thing, and you expect that, and then you're taken aback by it. Racism is saying, hey, you look like that and fuck your life, I'm going to get rid of you. And I don't think that's what was happening at the same time when he did that. I think, again, a word that I feel that the First Black Champ podcast made very popular in the wrestling community, culturally clueless. I believe that this is that. I believe you have a culturally clueless white person who is writing wrestling and has his prejudices, and he's wondering why it is upsetting this black woman and two black women. You got the writer and you also got Bianca Belair, and he's not taking the time to have the conversation to figure out why. And that's the corny sucker shit. I'm not going to scream racism, but it is layered with prejudice, and that is a problem.
So I'm glad that you said that, because I 100% agree with you on that one. Mm-hmm. When Bianca Belair said, nah, fam, this ain't it, you got to take that in advisement.
Yeah.
But I'm also glad what you said when it comes to culture. What this proves to me is that there's no culture in the WWE locker room. Now, I will say this. That is partly not our fault.
Right.
That's partly the fault of wrestling in general. Mm-hmm. You can go back. This is not a Vince McMahon issue.
Right.
This is a wrestling issue. We've had white men play Russians and Asians. We grew up thinking Yokozuna was Japanese. Mm-hmm. The only people that knew that Yokozuna was not Japanese was Samoans.
Right.
That was it.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but when I found out that Yokozuna was not Japanese, I was taken aback. Big gasp. What?
Yeah.
My childhood has been ruined. Yeah. But it was also ruined when I found out that Nikita Koloff was a white man. Like, whoa. He changed his whole name. He went full gear to the gimmick. Like the whole Vince McMahon nigga shit. Look, you can't tell me. Let me just say this right now, ladies and gentlemen. You can't tell me that Vince McMahon has never said in a meeting, how about we use the N-word? There's none. Do I know he said that? No. Other than the Booker T shit, John Cena shit, right. That's all I have. But you can't tell me some of the worst stereotypical comments has not been said in the writing room. Mm-hmm. And somebody had to say, nah, we ain't going in that direction.
Right.
Y'all sure? Like, classy.
Like, we gonna do this?
And I'll tell you now, you can't tell me that after WrestleMania 1, that they were not in the room and Vince McMahon said, hey, you know what make these promos a bit more impactful, Greg? Call Junkyard Dog a nigga. You know why you can't tell me that, Ken? Because Greg the Hammer Valentine pivoted and called him a mean, old, nasty black man. Yeah. That means you don't want to call this person a nigga.
Yeah. But you want to imply
to it. It's a mean, old, nasty black man.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that they was like, hey, you know.
Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, like it's the key word in that writing room is implication.
Yeah.
Like, what are you implying? Right?
Like, you can't tell me somebody ain't say this. Well, you know, I don't think we should say nigger, but Matt, what if he says nit and then he gets punched?
You know.
Because let's go back to the 90s, the infamous promo between the Nation of Domination, DX, and Bret Hart and them.
Mm-hmm.
What Bret Hart say, Camp?
Bret Hart was like, hey, well, I'm going to paraphrase here. Hey, look, I'm from Canada. I ain't racist like Shawn Michaels and them. They be using the M. They hate black people for real.
Right. You can't tell me, Camp.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, oh, you know what? Let's not even worry about what happened, you know what I'm saying, with the Vince McMahon promo.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just look at WrestleMania 19.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's black people I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Fam, historic, look, Samoans to us has either been gang members or savages.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. The savages part comes from wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming down the look. When they put the head shrinkers in boots, it's like, damn.
Yeah.
Is the head shrinkers the first Samoans? Like this was a legit thought, Camp.
Okay.
A legit thought I had when they put the head shrinkers in boots
Mm-hmm.
was me saying, is these the first Samoans to ever wrestle in boots? And didn't have to think about it. And didn't have to think about it. No, because Jimmy Snuka wrestled with no shoes for years.
Mm-hmm.
And then he popped back up in the WWE after like WrestleMania 5. He had on wrestling boots. And
but
you know what I said?
Jobbing then. Okay, go ahead.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like he had the whole little program with Mr. Perfect and everything. But I said to myself, oh man, Jimmy Snuka whack because he got on boots. That was a legit thought I had. Like, oh man, he got on boots. He whack as hell. Like all the Raw Samoans is out here with their toes out, splashing people.
And with that, they made him put on boots, but then he just made a sound as his promo. So it's like you trade the one extreme for the other. Like he would, at least when he wasn't wearing shoes, he would cut a promo. And maybe, you know what, after we hear about what happened in Allentown, Pennsylvania, maybe there was a reason for Jimmy Snuka to not be talking anymore. Right? Okay. But at the same time, it's like, man, you made him a different kind of primitive. So did he kill the lion for the boots and he just stopped talking? Like, what happened? I don't think I know. But yeah, head shrinkers and boots. You know what? Hey, if Roman Reigns didn't look like Aquaman to a lot of people that watch wrestling for the first time, and when I say a lot of people, I mean women, they probably would have had him looking like a savage as well. I always think that's the saving grace. That is why Roman Reigns is the tribal chief, and he is the head of the table. He is the first Samoan to be booked as a strong white male. I mean, hey, I don't think y'all can really call cap with this one because look at his career versus the starting of every other Samoan wrestler's career ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
So that's my whole thought process.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I just talked about black people and Samoans. I just talked about people of color. Fam, the most racist shit in wrestling, to me, is Mexicals.
The Mexicals.
It gets no racist than that.
I mean,
He took Psychosis, Juventud Guerrera, and Super Crazy and had them come down the aisle in a lawnmower.
Yeah, man. Wild times.
And they got cheered. Like, yeah. Now, what's the demographic? White men.
Yeah.
18, 34.
It's like, hey, he looks just like Carlos that does our lawn. Yeah. Huh?
That's the other part of the racism part. That's the underlying shit here, ladies and gentlemen. They are catering to a demo that we ain't a part of, who looks at some of the things that we just talked about, and they say this, ain't that bad. What the fuck is y'all mad for?
Right.
That, like, As long as y'all not saying Black Lives Matter, we don't care.
Mm.
That's the demo
Mm-hmm.
that wrestling caters to.
Yes, it is.
Wrestling, no matter the company.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when we see people like Roman Reigns, when we see people like the Usos, when we see the New Day, when we see Bianca Belair, we are shocked.
Mm-hmm.
When we see Booker T with dreads with a championship, we are shocked.
Mm-hmm.
But then you look at them characters and you say to yourself, there's part of that that's just cool to the demo of white men 18 to 34.
Yeah.
And the kids, the under 18, they don't know that shit's racist.
Right.
Or they don't know if it's stereotypical
Mm-hmm.
behavior
Mm-hmm.
that they are using to give these characters. Look, let's go with Bianca Belair.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with Bianca Belair. That's not a woman historically that we've seen in wrestling.
No, at all.
That's black.
Yeah.
That's so even with the long ass braid, I'm like, whose idea was the long ass braid?
Mm-hmm.
If it was Bianca's, cool with it. If it wasn't Bianca, somebody got to answer some questions. When I saw what was allegedly said, don't make me take off my earrings and beat your ass. I'm sorry. I've grew up all my life hearing black women tell other black women, don't make me take my earrings off and beat your ass. They probably have petroleum jelly in their purse to use to help beat your ass. So when I saw that, I don't think racist. I do think stereotyping.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it made the character more relatable because the opposite of that is them making them some corny black wrestler.
Hey, when I hear that line, I also think, stereotypical, but from around the way. But I also think about that episode of Martin with Miss Trinidad. So how real or fake or racist could it be, right? Those are your sliders. Listen, man, I want to say something really real here, just in case we're veering off into a different angle. We live in the United States of America, and racism exists here. Prejudice exists here. Discrimination exists here. So with that said, it should be in wrestling. Now I know I done threw y'all off the rails, right? I done threw y'all off the rails with that, but it's a very real thing here. And this is why I say this, because if you want to push the envelope, if you want to move the needle, if you want to get characters over his faces or heels, somebody is going to have to love or hate them for a specific reason. And I'm not saying that we got to call people the Nigger. We ain't got a SPIC. We ain't got a CHINX. Like, I ain't saying we got it up. Yeah. I'm not saying, oh, yeah, we're going to sling slurs every Thursday. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is the implication of petty or even just cultural character hatred is needed. Because you know what? There are some promos that Jeff Jarrett has cut in the 90s about Ahmed Johnson that made me think, you know what? I don't think I should ever cheer for Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
But then he kind of turned the corner on me when he started calling people slap nuts. But Jeff Jarrett has never been the guy, as far as when I've been watching wrestling, that was meant to be cheered in the first place. And sorry, everybody can't just either wear a nice suit and talk about the girls and the money and how they'll beat people up, and they can't just wear all black and scare children and get over for 12 full months, you eventually gonna have to piss somebody off.
Yeah.
And what better way to piss somebody off? Hey, let me just think of a character off top. Baron Corbin needs to come back to SmackDown and tell Montez Ford, you know what? You'd be greater if you were a little bit taller and you didn't do all that high jumping and dancing and stuff. And then let people think what they think. But you know what you do when you do that? You get Montez Ford over. Because even the black people that love black people and the white people that love or like black people enough will want to see him kick Baron Corbin's ass. He gets a great promo, then he gets a great solo run, and it leads to championship opportunity. See, we can't have both things exist at the same time. We can't have everybody with these flat characters that don't have no defining moments, but then all want them to main event WrestleMania. It's not going to work that way.
So I agree with you to a point. I ain't saying what you're saying is wrong. The issue comes when you don't have us in the rooms to help guide you.
True. I'm with you.
That'd be the issue. I think the WWE and wrestling in general has always had a cultural problem. If white men, you have white men and women inside of these rooms determining how a person of color or minority works. That's why I used other examples outside of just black people. Like, dead ass, Roman Reigns and the Usos changed the perception of Samoans to me.
Right, facts.
Like, they have changed that whole perception. But then when you look at all of their wives, they have black women as their wives. Like, when you look,
which makes it even funnier how the Usos showed up to Raw looking like they shop at H&M and bang all the white chicks.
Exactly. Like, they came up here looking like car crackers. Like, when they changed their clothes. And I said on it, like, yo, they car crackers now. You got that. You got the whole Yokozuna thing. But then you even have the white dude thing where you have white men playing Russians, or they're playing characters like, you know, Barry Darsow was like a Russian before he became Smash or Axe.
Yeah.
Like, you have people, you even have people like, look at Adrian Adonis. Look at the character of Adrian Adonis. Adrian Adonis was a person that will kick your ass. Then for some strange reason, right before WrestleMania 3, he started liking women's clothes. Then he became adorable Adrian Adonis. He was an ambiguous wrestler who they was legit calling slurs on TV.
Yeah.
You go look at Raw, first year Raw, with Jerry the King Lawler. Tell me how many slurs you hear in the crowd. Look at the Attitude Era, and you tell me how many slurs you see on a poster board.
And the nasty ones that you can't even say in public anymore.
The ones I'm not gonna say on the pod today.
Yeah.
Saying is that it has now come a point that the WWE and wrestling in general has to have multiple people of color inside of their writing rooms.
Yes.
Their writing rooms cannot be dominated by white men and women. It has to have a multiple amount of African Americans and people of color inside of these rooms. Or even better, as consultants. Use them as consultants. Yo, I'm about to go pitch some shit, but tell me how this can work better for y'all. Because I don't want to put nothing out there. That is why, and it can't be somebody that comes from wrestling.
Okay.
Because you have to think about it like this too, y'all. A lot of these wrestlers, black men who was wrestling in the 80s and 90s, they get a long game.
Right.
They might be like, I ain't fucking with this, but hey, yo, I got to make this money. So Let me go coon it out real quick. No, you have to have people of the culture, about the culture, inside of these rooms or as advisors and consultants. So when you're pitching something to Bianca Belair and you just want to get some thoughts and advice, iron some shit out, then you can do that. You also have to understand that Black people are not a monolith.
Right.
All Black people do not have the same thoughts.
Right.
We're not.
Sure.
So there's still going to be some people that's like, yo, fuck this shit. When my wife first saw Bianca Belair, she was like, yo, who the fuck is this ghetto girl on wrestling? This is what we on. But then she changed her thought process as the character grew.
And
but the thing is, you can tell by what we read in this lawsuit that Bianca Belair, a part of that growth, came from Bianca being able to speak up.
Yeah.
Which probably shouldn't have happened in the first place, because it should have been somebody there to say, yo, whoa. Yeah. She could still be a strong Black woman, but not sound like she's on the episode of Jerry Springer.
Right.
May he rest in peace.
For sure, yes.
So that's my thing here. That's why I don't think you're wrong in what you're saying, because there's a way to bring those things in and identify. Because here's the thing here. I think some people really take wrestling to be a real sporting event, which is a sport. But what I mean is like, we don't know who's going to win these motherfuckers.
Right. Until it
happens. Like, this is sports entertainment. So to your point, part of entertainment, if you go to a movie, you're probably going to see some shit. But like there is a fucking petition out right now because they remaking that Mana shit, the shit The Rock did. What's the name of it? But that movie. Yeah. They remaking it and they're doing a live action version of it. And the male ain't dark as the cartoon character. And people are upset about that shit. So everybody is going to be upset about something. But the issue comes when you look at your writing room and it's a whole bunch of white people, and then there's one Black person, one or two Black people that already feel uncomfortable because it's 16 of y'all and it's 2 of them. And when you say, hey, man, you feel a type of way. Oh, I got Black friends, or I talked to a Black wrestler, and no. Wrestling rooms in general, from indies to Impact, AEW, WWE, MLW, all of these mid-major to major organizations. Telling y'all now, y'all will save yourselves a lot of drama by adding more people of color into your rooms and developing not just Black characters, but white characters.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you do not, you run the risk of having more lawsuits like this. Here's the thing. This young generation ain't me and Cam.
No.
They can see I guarantee you, this generation looked at the Yokozuna doc and was like, that's racist. We looked at the documentary and was like, damn, Yokozuna was really a Samoan about that life. How did we just find this shit out?
Right. Yeah.
And the only reason, here's the cherry on top. The only reason he wasn't Coquina Maximus is that they felt like they had enough Samoans on the roster. So we're going to make him different. So they didn't want 3 Samoans out here. So they made him Japanese. Off of Sergeant Slaughter's idea. And he was an Iraqi sympathizer in 1991. Wrestlers don't think racism, they think of cool or dumbass character.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry. Kamala, there was nothing scary about Kamala to me.
No.
Even as a child, I was like, who the fuck is Buddy doing this? But
Yeah.
you know who I fucked with heavily?
Mhm.
Abdullah the fucking Butcher.
No, he was scary.
He was scary. I didn't know if that motherfucker was Arab or not. Turns out he black as hell. He
Mhm.
come through with a fork, cut your shit out, cut your shit up, all that shit. He was about that life. He was just a crazy black man
Mhm.
or a crazy Arab. I don't know.
Right.
But he was just crazy.
Yeah.
Bad News Brown, Fist Up, Doom. We knew them niggas was in the mask who they was, but they still whooped your ass.
Mhm.
Ron Simmons, hey, he went from being in Doom to he's a legit college Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But Lex Luger tried to say, hey, you can open my fucking door.
Carry my bags.
Right.
I had monkeys like, okay, never mind.
Like Junkyard Dog, Butch Reed, all of these wrestlers.
Yeah.
But I'll go to some shit that y'all don't even think about. Nigga, we thought fucking Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was a Japanese wrestler. Nigga, let's be real. Okay. We thought Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was what Great Muta actually was.
Yeah, no, I'm on board with that. I definitely thought he was a Japanese superstar.
Fam, they came over there. He's coming through with the martial arts and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was Japanese, fam.
Yeah, and I've always associated with dragons with Japan.
That's he came right.
That's just
He came back to the WWE. He came back to the WWE, fam, and he was spitting the. Then he went back to WCW, spitting the. He was a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
He was Japanese, or he was of Japanese descent. And look, you can't tell me that he ain't. Like, if he did an Ancestry.com test, we know a lot of that shit is going to be Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
But my man was born in New York, Jack.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
He was
he's not he doesn't even qualify as an American immigrant.
Right.
That's
like he went from being Hawaiian to Japanese. Mm-hmm. And you know who was cool with it? Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you right now, Ricky Steamboat ain't make no money. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, who when they was like, oh, I know he Hawaiian. I know he tried to pull this Hawaiian shit. But that nigga look like Bruce Lee.
Right.
You're right. He does look like Bruce Lee. All right, we're going to make him the Dragon. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Because Into the Dragon just came out and that shit popping.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was like, all right, shit. Yeah. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat made a whole bunch of money. Yeah. So Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, 70 years old, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat now. Mm-hmm. If you would have a conversation with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat about race and wrestling, he ain't gonna have nothing bad to say. Because one, he's of lighter skin. Two, he made money. Richie is gonna be Richie Steamboat. He gonna fuck around and be Richie the Dragon before he blew out his knee and shit. But now we at an age and we in an era that you just can't fully be stereotypical. But that's
my problem.
But that's why but the reason why is because there's a white men doing it. That's why you need more of us in these rooms. Look, Cam, me and you have pushed out storylines for all types of colors. That's been way better than some of the shit that we've seen lately.
Yeah. But
that's also because we see both sides of the shit.
Well, yeah, and I think and that's why I do want to say this. I want to say it so I don't forget. There is having the inclusion of writers, and I do believe that you need that. Latin Americans, Asians, Black people, Black Americans, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You can be from Canada. I don't want to exclude to Americans. You know what I'm saying? You can actually be from Mexico. I really don't care. My thing is the thing that I've been bringing up a lot this year, I believe, and even into last year, and that's having the proper wrestling mind to actually know how this really works. Because the other thing that I don't want, Bang, is for us to hire 3 or 4 Black writers specifically, or 2 or 3 Black writers specifically, male and female, whatever. And all we're doing is making MLK characters. And all we're doing is making Sojourner Truth and Marcus Garvey. It's like, nah, everybody just can't be the all-American hero face that is just to be this upstanding individual for Black wrestling. Because you know who one of my favorite Black wrestlers was? Bad News Brown. you know who one of my favorite Black characters was? The Natural Butch Reed. And the Natural Butch Reed was not concerned too much about Black power. He dyed his hair blonde, he kissed his biceps, and he power slammed the shit out of white people. And that was fine with me.
But pause. Here's why, to me, Butch Reed is one of the most underrated Black characters of all time.
Mm-hmm.
70s. Let's just go late 70s, early 80s. He was the typical Black man that you would see in a Blaxploitation film.
Yeah.
That was not necessarily the bad guy, but he was the underboss.
Right.
Yo, man, I'm just here to get my goddamn money, fam. Fuck all this bullshit. That was Butch Reed. So, based off of what we know from Blaxploitation films, that was a real ass character. You can get around, hey, Junkyard Dog, you can like all these fans and all this shit right here, but I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I'm here to beat somebody's ass and get this money, get the fuck up out of here. You can suck up to all these honkies all you want to. And then here comes Junkyard Dog talking about I'm not only wrestling for my people, I'm wrestling for all of the people in Mid-South Wrestling. Yay! Yeah. Butch Reed, like, man, get the fuck up out of it. Butch Reed is 2 steps away from calling him a coon.
Yeah.
And that's why Mid-South Wrestling, Junkyard Dog versus Butch Reed sold out the fucking Superdome.
Mm-hmm.
Because Butch Reed to niggas was like, y'all like him. Because he ain't for the fuck shit. But then you got that other selection of Black people that's like, hey, he's fighting for me. Junkyard Dog is fighting for me. And I work with John over here. And he's not a racist. I fuck with him too. Like, yay. And then you got John, the white dude, like, you know what? I don't know a lot of Black people, but I know Mike. And I fuck with Mike.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? He fuck with Junkyard Dog. I fuck with him too, because Junkyard Dog, like, he fighting for me. It's like Great White Hype in reverse.
Yeah.
Negro Savior versus the Negro that don't give a fuck.
And that's the part that's important. And that's why I'm saying, more than trying to get your culture off, and more importantly than trying to get positive Black images out, we still got to play to the world of professional wrestling. I'm all for being inclusive, but we're not going to be inclusive without conflict. We're not going to be inclusive without real friend or foe, with real good versus evil, with real bad and good that exist, because that is the world. And these people are supposed to be characters that are over the top in a certain way. So no matter what happens, we can't lose that, because that is the entertainment of sports entertainment. Because you should know well enough in your life, no matter what age you are, that you can't say a whole bunch of things to Black people a certain way and then you're just going to end up in some wrestling match and then it's over. No. If you're overtly racist, you're going to get beat up and probably die. That don't have to happen in wrestling. But you want elements of that to exist for great story. If we do it for movies and we do it for TV shows, we should look at wrestling no other way than that way. And that's the only thing that I would caution anyone of another color that is not a white male that is writing for the 18 to 34 demo, is to be like, yes, understand that even you existing in that writing room is the progress. You existing in that writing room to tell the stereotypical angles and the prejudice and what might be deemed as racist. That is you making the product better. But at the same time, we can't flatten and water down all the black talent, which is great black talent that currently exists in the world of wrestling.
No, I don't think like we're saying similar shit.
Yeah. Oh no, this is not a disagreement. I just wanted to say what I had to say.
No, I'm just making sure that people know this. Like we're saying similar shit.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I don't want nobody in the writing room just because they black. You got to bring something to the table.
Mhm.
Like, I don't mind being anybody's affirmative action hire.
Hey,
But when I get up in that building, we working. When I get up in that building, we working.
Right.
And that's the other thing too. Like you gotta listen to the people of color up in that as having the conversation. Because here's the fucked up thing, Kemp, that white men, I'll say white men, or a lot of white men, not all of them, but a good chunk of white men in these positions. They don't understand that not only what I can bring to the people of color in this room, but what I can bring to you.
Right.
Because Austin Theory been Manila this whole fucking time. And I know I could jazz up Austin Theory without making him sound like Eminem. There's other white people like Chad Gable. Come on, fam. Chad Gable should be in a better position what he in right now.
Yeah.
And Otis should not be called Otis and trying to be made into some sex symbol just because he's fat. Yeah, it's getting to the point that even some cases y'all regurgitating storylines and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I guarantee you there's a person of color inside that room or that have been inside that room that say, yo, no, give me the white people. I know y'all gonna try to put me with the black people, but no, give me the white people because I'm gonna jazz this shit up. I'm gonna put some culture in this shit. I'm gonna show you because I guarantee you this, man. And I stand on this. We can move on after this, but I stand on this. Black and I talked about this kind of like when we was talking about the porn star shit. Black people can be asked what their favorite white song is. Fire that motherfucker off.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucker say, who your favorite white actor? Fire that shit off. You ask a black people what's your favorite white anything. The only thing they gonna say that they don't fuck with is white people food. But entertainment, sports, Tom Brady is black men's favorite white guy because he's led his team to all of them Super Bowls, fam.
Brady gang.
You ask a white guy who your favorite black quarterback is, it's going to be something tied to that quarterback that don't need to be tied to that quarterback. Or they might be scared to name that shit. Mm-hmm. We are the most non-inclusive, inclusive racial group because we eat tacos, we love spaghetti, we love Hall & Oates and the Doobie Brothers. Mm-hmm. Brad Pitt is our nigga. And we still got our own culture within all of that shit. Mm-hmm. We invite people to cookouts just because they sing good R&B or they fucking a good-looking black woman. We invite people to cookouts for that shit. We know y'all culture, fam, and we know our culture. So stop fucking with us in these rooms and really listen to us. Because we could tell you, yo, this storyline y'all doing with Otis is dumb as fuck. Mm-hmm. And y'all think because y'all are a white man age 18 to 34, no, you got this. But I know one thing that white men 18 to 34 love that white women ain't got. I ain't got to say no more about that. All I'm saying is they like our shit too. Just scared to admit the goddamn shit.
Oh, man.
So y'all of that demo need to stop bullshitting and let some of us come up in there and help you with your shit and give us the credit that we deserve too. Because the last thing that I want is Kemp and J.R. Bang to get hired in the writing room for WWE, and we turn around Raw because Raw been huff lately, but all of a sudden you saying these white people doing all this shit. Fuck up out here.
Hey, I'm turning everything over. Watch me. First Black Champ podcast, man. Well, we hope you enjoyed that segment of the conversation, man. It was greatly important. I kind of feel like you froze. Are you okay? No, I see you. There you go.
Oh yeah, no, I'm reading text.
No, but yes, man, yes. Hopefully, though, you know what the flip side of this, because obviously this is the worst also news to happen with Vince McMahon coming back after the Encore sale, and I'm sorry, after the sale, and then Vince, and then the maneuvering around. I don't think it's all by accident, and I think this is also the greatest story that will never fully be told in the world of the WWE. But they always have a couple of those. Every era needs one of those. You know, in the 80s, it was the steroids. In the 90s, I'll say it was the substance abuse policy. You know what I'm saying? 2000s, I'm going to leave that up to the cleaning up of the substance abuse policy and Shawn Michaels being a Christian. So he literally showed up as Job or Paul. I can't remember. Or Judas. Like if Judas got baptized, it would be Shawn Michaels in the 2000s, most likely. And then you have the 2010s, which is just, you know, basically the victory lap for John Cena. But I think there's a lot that comes with that, because they tried to make it the reality era and all the things that came in with that. And now you have the 2020s. And now the hot button in America. What is it? Sexual harassment, sexual assault, racism, extortion attempts, all of that. So this is just the friendly cycle of Titan Sports and what it has to go through to be successful. More strides have been made, but more still need to happen. Yeah. And that is just where we are in the world of professional wrestling. But let's not get too real. Signed, a wrestling fan.
Hey, man. Speaking of this shit too, I ain't gonna front. I think white people use Eddie Guerrero on storylines because they're favorite Mexican.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And you know who's upset about that shit?
Not
Chavo. Chavo is no longer with the games, Jack, and I got a theory why. But I'm going to read some of his quotes on the Captain's Corner. Sounds like a podcast name that you probably should have had.
Yeah, I should have thought about like 2009, 2010.
Chavo says this. I got to tell you this. Just don't understand why Rey Mysterio still has to look. We all love Eddie. But we're not going out with his gimmick and our gimmick. It was Los Guerreros' gimmick. And come out with Los Guerreros, we lie, we cheat, we steal. And everybody's like, oh yeah, keeping Eddie's memory alive. I say, no, dude, I'm tired of people. And this is not a bitter thing. This is the truth. We worked hard for that last name. This whole family worked really, really hard to get that name to where it was. And we're tired of people prostituting it in a sense and using it for their benefit. So Rey Mysterio, I'm sorry that no one knows who Rey Mysterio Sr. is. Rey Mysterio Jr., no one knows who he is. And I'm sorry that you have to latch on to the Guerrero family. And we're just kind of tired of it. So thank you for keeping Eddie's name alive. Thank you for keeping that Guerrero name alive. But we don't need you. We're good. You know what I'm saying? Now.
Ooh, Chavo.
Question. Is Chavo pushing the angle? Does he have a point or both?
I don't believe he's pushing the angle, and he definitely has a point. And I'm going to go even this far. I don't think people really start caping for Eddie G like that until Sasha Banks. Because respectfully, Ray, there was a big gap in time after you and Batista decided that y'all didn't want to be Mexican together no more, that I wasn't hearing about Eddie. And then, and then Sasha Banks comes out adamant. Eddie Guerrero, my favorite wrestler ever. No, he the GOAT. He the one. That's who I patent my style. That's who made me want to wrestle. It wasn't until Sasha Banks started talking that talk and started using this frog splash and started doing all that. Now, all of a sudden, now here come Ray Ray, because he Ray Jr. It's Ray Ray. Now he coming back. He got the EG joint on. He shimmying and cha-chaing. He want to come down to the ring and low riders. He want to do the frog splash now with the 619 when he wasn't doing that. And yeah, it looks a tad suspect. Now, on the flip though, I'm not going to act like Eddie and Ray weren't cool. And I'm sure that probably was his man's. But just like in the world of hip hop, we notice when maybe you're just paying a little too much homage to Biggie. There comes a point like, people, even though the rumblings were low, certain rappers die and then you pick up their flow. Now people look at you sideways. Like, man, but I don't even remember a picture with y'all. And that's kind of where I see Chavo going. And I'm honestly not mad at it because I don't remember the promo cut where Ray Ray was saying, I'm carrying the Eddie G flag from here on out because that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to give it up like this. I don't remember any of that happening until Sasha Banks got her spot.
So Chavo ain't said shit that I've been telling y'all on this damn pod.
And that's point two.
I've been saying this for a while. I even said on this pod, yo, we don't know who Rey Mysterio Sr. is, but we know who Eddie Guerrero is. I said that here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's a recent episode.
That's a recent episode. So when I saw Chavo said, I actually thought that it was fake. I was like, nah, Chavo ain't said it. Because Chavo don't agree with me.
You thought B-Dot wrote it and said it?
Man.
Like, that's y'all playing.
I thought somebody was bullshitting, G. I had to go fact check. And I was like this. Look, fam. Also, the Guerrero family is going through a lot of shit right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With Eddie's daughters. Like, you got a lot of shit going on there. You got Vicky. There was a couple of weeks ago, Vicky was lashing out at one of her daughters on Twitter and everything. Yeah. Chavo's really been helping out and shit like that. So I 1000% feel Chavo here. Because when there's shit that's going on family-wise in a famous family, the last thing that family wants to see is them really holding on to a name that is really like our name, fam.
Right.
It's really our name. It's not your name. This is our name, fam. Mm-hmm. When Eddie got here, nobody even gave a fuck about you, Ray. Let's keep
it
glad to see what Ray at now.
I didn't mean to say that like that. Let's keep it a buck. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make a bean reference during my bad.
We ain't on that. We ain't slurring it.
No, at all.
But Ray didn't even know that they would be interested in him.
Yeah.
So that Eddie dies. And you know what? I'm going to be very honest here. Mm-hmm. Probably too honest. But we all know this for a fact. when Eddie died, it felt like they put Rey Mysterio in place to be the next Mexican up.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that way, yeah.
Now, on the flip side of that, Chavo was current white when Eddie died. And he
Yeah.
went back to Chavo real quick.
And he dropped that character as soon as that header came up. He was like, no, we're
And
not doing this.
and I ain't gonna front. Part of what Chavo was saying right here could definitely be Ray took my spot. A Guerrero should have replaced the Guerrero.
Yeah.
But that could be that too.
Mm-hmm.
But when I look at what Ray, all this shit, like then with the lot cheating, like then with the Viva La Raza shit
Mm-hmm.
before the LWO thing, like every time Ray goes on something, he's saluting Eddie.
Yeah.
Knowing all of that shit. Like, fam, get the fuck up out of here now. Now we doing too much.
Yeah.
You know, us even thinking like low key, us even thinking like, yo, maybe they should do a storyline that says Dominic is Rey Mysterio, is Eddie Guerrero's son. All of that shit is implications through all of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like at a certain point in time, fam, the Mysterio family got to stand on their own and not be standing on Eddie Guerrero shit.
That's a fact.
Like even with the LWO shit, again, because if you want to know, I talked about this during the making of the LWO when they said the LWO was back. And I said, why would you bring back one of the worst factions in the history of wrestling?
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Guerrero started that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Went to two Mexican wrestlers like Eric Bischoff, don't do shit for us. And he got all of the Mexican wrestlers together. And Rey Mysterio was like, nah, I'm straight. I don't want no parts of that.
Mm-hmm.
And Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio was fighting because Rey Mysterio was getting looked at crazy by by Eddie Guerrero and the other Mexican wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fam, it ain't even a lot of us up there. Go and slide your ass on over there. Why the fuck you want to be alone and get your ass whooped by Kevin Nash and Scott Hall?
Mm-hmm.
And Ray was like, no. But now you're gonna remake the group.
Yeah.
And every time y'all come out, whose name is mentioned? Eddie Guerrero.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Guerrero. I watched SmackDown before we had got started. And the first fucking thing that Eric Bischoff said was the group was founded by Eddie Guerrero.
Mm-hmm.
If a motherfucker remake the NWO, they're not going to say how many times that Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and Hulk Hogan created the NWO.
Mm-hmm.
Because the shit's already over.
Right.
NWO already over.
Mm-hmm.
You're putting over the Latino world order, not through Rey Mysterio, fam.
Right.
It's through the name of Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
So I don't mind Chavo one fucking bit for being like, get off my nephew nuts.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I feel the exact same way. And I don't want to get too serious on it, but it really does make you think like, why is he doing it? But some of my criticisms of Rey Mysterio just in general on the show is, well, he's not the best talker. He doesn't really sell his stories the greatest. But you know who really did? Eddie Guerrero. I mean, really, if some people want to take the other side of the fence on this topic and say, well, why shouldn't Ray champion Eddie to the death and beyond? Because Eddie gave him the best story of his life. He gave him the best matches of his life. He gave him the best moments in professional wrestling of his life, minus winning the Royal Rumble and the championship. But even that was all rooted in the air and the mystique of Eddie Guerrero. Like, really, all of the high points in Rey Mysterio's career specifically are tied. I'm sorry, Rey Mysterio, yes, it's tied to Eddie Guerrero. But there does have to come a time where you stand on your own and make your own thing happen. they're not even cousins. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, they're not related in any kind of way. And you're like, you can't find a Wikipedia page that will prove that. So with that being said, yeah, Eddie, it is time for you. I mean, Ray, it is time for you and your son Dominic. Keep Eddie's name out your mouth and get this done on y'all own. I don't feel that Chava was wrong for saying that in any way, shape, or form. He feels the need to say that.
Yeah, nah, I don't blame that man not one bit.
Nah.
And this LWO shit is just.
I still don't, and I'm gonna keep saying it until they go back. They killed a better Latin faction to recreate the LWO. I don't understand that.
I don't understand.
LDF was decent, super decent,
very decent, and didn't need all of that shit. All right, man. So, oh, my bad. We got a new world championship, Camp.
Yes, we do.
WWE
Yes, we do.
World Championship looks like the WWE's version of the big gold belt.
Yeah.
Which I ain't mad at. I do like the belt. Let me just say this now. I do like the belt. But my question to you is, the first question is, does this make sense for the WWE to not split the championships? Take one of those, just make a whole new one.
You know, it doesn't make sense to me. To be honest, when they had the belt announcement, bang, what I thought was happening was they were going to give Roman Reigns that belt, and then he was going to give up the WWE Championship because technically he's held that the shortest amount of time.
So you thought that was just going to be the World Championship belt in general for everything?
Yeah, I thought, Roman Reigns tired of carrying two belts around. Okay, bet. We'll give him one that says he's the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. And I was cool with that. I was totally cool with Roman Reigns just having that belt and then him being like, you know what? We got to carry on tradition, though. This is the world title because the world is the universe. Ask He-Man. All right. And then we just have the WWE Championship back on Raw. I was fine with that. This seems like the biggest conflict of interest that they haven't recognized yet.
I agree. I thought it was just better be served to just say, yo, we taking one of these belts.
Yeah.
And just that's it. Because now this feels like a glorified Raw champion. Not a WWE champion, not a Universal champion thing. This now legit feels like to me the Raw Heavyweight Championship belt.
Yeah, hey.
Now,
first black champ told you first.
We told you that first. Now, will it change? It will once we get close to Night of Champions. Because, you know, what I would have done is have a 4-person tournament now to get the shit over with. Hell, I even said on this show that where they were going to strip Roman Reigns of one of the titles. Basically based off of what some of the shit that Triple H said. To begin with, like he a part-time champion at this point, and he negotiated it. But there's a loophole in the contract that state that we can do X, Y, and Z, so we're taking one of the belts from him. He's still Universal Champion, but the WWE World Championship goes over here. And tonight we're going to crown one, a new one. We're not going to wait. There's going to be Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley, Cody Rhodes versus Austin Theory. And that in the first hour, those are 2 matches. Then in the third hour, for our main event, the winner of both of those matches is going to fight for the WWE World Championship. That's what I would have done. Now,
especially on the draft week, it just makes sense.
Because like I said, this draft has to be very impactful. It has to be a wow moment. And we might get it Monday if the bloodline, if the Usos are selected on Raw, and then Solo just thumbs the shit out of his brothers. So that might happen. Now, I say all that to say this. The other big reason is because you don't get the Roman Reigns payoff by taking the belt off of him. For two people in particular. Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes. You don't get that rub. But the next question to you is, do we go past Pedro here? Are we now looking at Roman Reigns quite possibly passing Hulk Hogan's first title reign, which was at 1,400 days?
Oh, absolutely. Now, absolutely. Because, because Donnie kind of beat me to the punch here. But for everybody that can't see what he's saying, now you can't convince me that Roman Reigns is not going to end up at number 2. Because now you can spend the next year and a half, 2 years, building up the brand new title that exists within the organization. So literally, Roman Reigns can end up at number 2. So that's behind Bruno Sammartino, because that's just too many thousands of days that's left, right? I don't ever expect anybody to beat that. We don't live in that world. And there's too much wrestling that exists for it to even make sense at this point. They literally have to hire a new roster for that to be the case. But what you do with this World Heavyweight Championship that will be exclusive to Raw is you greenlight gang that. Now all of the second and even third tier pay-per-views and shows and those special Raw nights are totally reserved for that belt. Let it get some shine. Let a few people hold it, I would even say. I am one of the rare people that don't mind year-long title reigns as long as we make it interesting and we get good product and we get good matches. So even if by 2027 there's only 4 champions that exist under that World Heavyweight title, they should have found the guy within that mixed or on the rise in that mixed to take over once Roman Reigns says, all right, we're done here. Y'all be good. I got 2 sets of twins and another child at the crib. I'm out.
Yes. Yeah. Once we find out who the match is going to be, we be straight. But then when you say that person's going to be a fighting champion, you need that, y'all trying to break Hulk Hogan's.
Yeah.
What, Camp? I don't mind it at all.
Yeah.
We can get Hulk Hogan the fuck up out of here.
Yeah, that's what this era wants anyway. That we got to strip Hulk Hogan of everything. Everything must go. It's the largest fire sale for white males ever.
We got to get Terry Bollea the fuck up out of here.
Yeah.
Now, my question for you on that though: how do you identify who takes that? Here's the thing. Let me just say this now: for niggas my age, your age, get off the bullshit. Hulk Hogan was the only champion you knew for quite some time.
That's a fact. You
don't count the Andre the Giant shit, and Macho Man didn't beat Hulk Hogan.
Nope.
So Hulk Hogan is really the undisputed champion you know.
For sure.
From 84 to WrestleMania 4, this nigga was a champ. So it's like 4 years. As long as you put good people in front of him, he's going to be okay. But I'm interested in seeing what they're going to do with that belt. And Cody, belt. Because I think it's more worth it to Seth Rollins to go after Roman.
Yeah.
That's why I am mad that Becky Lynch got drafted to Raw, because that means Seth gonna be drafted to Raw.
Yeah. Yep.
I am happy that Bobby Lashley is drafted to SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait for Roman Reigns, Bobby Lashley.
Finally.
I can't wait for that. My whole thought process about it, though, is whoever gets this new belt got to hold it down.
Yeah.
You have to hold it down. Because be incumbent on that champion make you forget about Roman Reigns.
Exactly.
Right now. Because if you can make that person, he can get the 14 whatever, and we won't give a fuck until he gets the 14 whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then he go raise his in a year.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't think that people really truly understand what it takes for you to hold that belt that long.
Right. See, I'm glad you said that, because for everybody that may be sick and tired of everything that is bloodline and the Roman Reigns title reign, if we say stagnant, if we say stale, we say whatever. Here is the challenge that I propose to any of the people that say those kind of things. Tell me the person who in 90 days can make you feel anything that Roman Reigns has made you feel by just fighting his homies, let alone an opponent that's rather worthy. We can never be short-sighted when we say Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns was the best thing that happened for the Universal title, period, at this point. There has been nothing more significant. And keep in mind, the way Finn Balor won the belt, the way Kevin Owens got the belt, the hot potato between Goldberg and Brock Lesnar, and yet we're still here.
That's what you just said guarantees to me that's gonna be the hot potato belt.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that there'll be 3 people who hold that belt before WrestleMania. Or there'll be 3 reigns, so to speak.
Right.
Cody would be a 2-time WWE World Champion before WrestleMania 40.
And what I don't like about that is that his promo now don't matter. His dusty promo don't matter no more. Ain't nothing changed. Roman Reigns is still holding the belt that Cody Rhodes said he was going after. That's what he signed up for. He didn't sign up to be the world heavyweight champion exclusively on Raw.
So that's
that ain't what he signed up for.
Question to you: does Cody Rhodes get that belt, or does he lay in wait like he did he did this in AEW?
Mm-hmm.
Just laid in wait. Does he lay in wait, and possibly do we see a rematch at WrestleMania 40 in Philly, Rhodes and Roman Reigns? And honestly, do we want that?
I think it's time for a guarantee. I didn't have one for this week, honestly. I was really just going to go in about the draft in night 1. And that's how I was going to end the show today. But you know what? My guarantee is this. My guarantee is that Seth Rollins will be tasked with getting this belt over on Raw. And who better else to do it? Look, if he can get your favorite or least favorite wrestler over, he can for sure get a belt over. And, obviously, Seth isn't this short-sighted, but he has been very vague in his promos about saying he should be the champion. He should headline WrestleMania. Like, he's speaking as the main eventer, and he's supposed to do that. He know that 2 belts existed before when he was cutting those promos, and now there's 3 belts that exist. And the thing about Seth Rollins is that what he did for the U.S. title, and what he did for Money in the Bank, he can do for this new title. I know that the people are saying they want Cody Rhodes to have these belts and do all this stuff. I think like Triple H thinks, I think. And I don't think y'all gonna like what happens when Cody Rhodes gets his hands on one of those belts. And hey, First Black Champ is a We Love Cody Rhodes podcast. But the character that exists right now for Cody Rhodes is not a world champion character.
I go as far as to say this, Kent. When Cody Rhodes wins the championship, the next day y'all ain't gonna give a fuck. Matter of fact, I'll give y'all the Tuesday. When Cody Rhodes wins that belt on Tuesday, y'all ain't gonna give a fuck. Because it's gonna be like busting your first nut.
Well, wait, whoa, hold on. That's significant.
Yeah, hear me out. Will it be significant when a Rhodes family member wins the WWE Championship? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But after you bust your first nut, the second one and the third one don't feel as the same as the first one.
I'll be quiet.
Here's why. Hear me out. Because it's the happiness of getting that that will never be replicated along with the action. So what I'm saying is we gonna be happy that Cody Rhodes got the belt. We're gonna be ecstatic. He finally did it. He broke it. But then is now what?
True. Not true.
It's gonna be now what? That's what it is. Because it's now we finally got us there. And after that, it's just, all right, it's time to go get another one.
Mm-hmm.
Time.
I get you.
That's it. That's all. It's just time to get another one. And sometimes when you're going to get that other one, sometimes you just fucking random hoes just to get that other one. And that's what y'all gonna be doing with Cody Rhodes. He's gonna be fighting these randoms, and you're gonna have to get excited about a random. After a while, you don't get excited for the randoms. And then y'all just gonna be like, all right, whatever. That's what y'all gonna do with Cody Rhodes, ladies and gentlemen. I don't give a fuck if that shit's at WrestleMania 40. In the row after WrestleMania, you're giving him a standing ovation and all of that shit and all that. But it's the same thing with Daniel Bryan when Daniel Bryan won the belt. Y'all was yes chanting all that shit. Then a week later, y'all was like, yeah. 2 weeks later, y'all was like, yeah. 3 weeks later, y'all was like, because wrestling fans are fickle.
Hey, sign Captain Planet.
And the only wrestlers y'all give a damn about after they win a belt, because y'all gonna hate them, and it gives y'all a reason for that adrenaline to keep going, is the heel champions. Y'all would not give a fuck about Roman Reigns as a face champion holding a belt this long. This ain't the age of Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Where you get scary heels to go try to take the belt from them. And you're hoping that Hulkamania can't lose. This is a different era. We hope y'all do. You know who really gave you? Floyd Mayweather. When Floyd became Money Mayweather, him to lose, fam. Fuck him. I hate him. I hate choosing its people. All of these things and all of that stuff. Nick Hill. Roman Reigns. Oh, I hate him. Fuck that he had leukemia. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
He probably didn't have it in the first place.
Yo. Yo.
You don't say that shit about somebody
Yeah.
you like, nigga.
Yeah.
But the
That's
80s
true.
was a different time.
Mm-hmm.
It was America. Go fuck up the Russian dude. Go fuck up the dude that broke your ribs. Go fuck up this giant. Oh, the giant took the belt from you? Oh, man. It was a goddamn fake ref who did the shit. Oh, Macho Man, we like you, but you kind of low-key a woman beater. Hulk Hogan, we feel like he's not deserving of having a championship no more. Well, why don't you go take it from him? Hulk Hogan, don't mind if I do. He takes it from him for 5. WrestleMania 6, oh, we got us a new Hulk Hogan. That Hulk Hogan wins. Then Vince say, oh, that nigga ain't the new Hulk Hogan, fam. Let's go give the belt back to who? Hulk Hogan. That's literally how these championships reigns happened in the 80s, fam. But he was a face, technically, the whole time. So again, that don't work in this era no more. So when Cody Rhodes wins the championship, it's Skeet. No.
Yo.
But if Seth Rollins wins the belt, the all chance go get a little bit lower. Because it's like, damn, he ain't got to chase it.
See, to stick with my guarantee and to stick to the place where I put Seth Rollins, I think that is why he's going to hold the belt. See, the thing is, I think the reaction for Seth will be greater long term than the one for Cody, and that's why I am picking him to be the first holder of this belt.
Yeah.
I think so again, I think character development is real, and I also think that there is just a certain thing that says being ready for the moment, and they don't have to do the Cody can't win the big one storyline with him, but you can definitely do the Cody doesn't really do anything for himself yet. And that is the bigger, greater storyline for Cody Rhodes. It's like, dog, the only thing you've done for yourself is tuck the Stardust character and go to Japan. That's the last thing you did for yourself. Everything else you've done for indie wrestling and for the indie guys, and you created AEW, but that was for everybody else. And now you're back. You want to win for your daddy. Punk, when is you going to do something for yourself? And that is the moment when the switch hits for Cody, the character goes 2 or 3 notches above where it is right now. And that's when I want to see Cody Rhodes holding the belt. I think when Cody gets into his super selfish, no, I am really the best wrestler out now bag, that's when we get it. He's giving it up for too many people. Roman Reigns is the greatest. Seth Rollins is one of the greatest. I work for Triple H. He's phenomenal. Dog, start bigging up yourself. Like, you are officially trying to win the Sportsmanship of the Year award. And I'm tired of it. And we don't want the champion that's giving it up for everybody else. You were talking about first nuts. Cody Rhodes is getting the train ran on him. And the train is all this positive penis being shoved every single week. And he just takes it and smiles, but he wants us to believe that he really wants to be the champ. I'm skeptical. So until he takes this around and he starts doing the pushing and the fucking, he's going to keep getting what he's getting.
Dicked around. Hey, man, before we get out of here, let's go through these predictions, man. Backlash is next week in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Look at the cover. It's Damian Priest versus Bad Bunny in this rub.
So, hey, that's my other guy that should have that belt. too, by the way.
Hey, there you
Seth
go.
Rollins and
So,
Damian Priest, they should be that world heavyweight champion on Raw.
hey, man. Hey, look, I'm with you. So, we're going to go ahead and get to these predictions real quick. Matt Riddle, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn versus the Bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
So, I got a question for you. Who wins and do Solo turns on his brothers in Puerto Rico?
I think the Bloodline wins, and he still turns on his brothers.
We have
Because
the same prediction.
oh, okay. I was like, because my whole thing was, what better than to win the match, but Solo feel like he did everything, so he get rid of both of them, like for real. Because hey, first pick of the draft on Monday, if it ain't Seth Rollins, it's the Usos. That's how I got this going still, and so far my guarantee is not wrong.
Yeah. Far with you that I'm predicting that another member of the Samoan dynasty will be debuting in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say to that.
Okay.
If it happens, it's the greatest bang beam moment ever. But I do believe that the Bloodline will win. But Jay and Jimmy are going to get jumped by Solo and the newest member of the Bloodline, whoever that may be. Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. Who wins this match?
No contest. Because neither one of them benefit from the win or the loss on this one. So I'm going no contest.
I'm going to go with Cody Rhodes. Because going into that Night of Champions season, Cody Rhodes has to be put in the pedestal as the person who could possibly get that belt. He can't lose to Brock Lesnar and then say, I want that shot. So I'm going to go with Cody Rhodes here. Okay. Rhea Ripley versus, we know Rhea Ripley's winning that shit.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
If this match is 7 minutes, I'll be surprised.
Yeah. But what I tell you, what happened on Raw, on SmackDown, she did the little tornado DDT. It was like, get the fuck up out of here.
Yeah.
Seth freaking Rollins versus Omos.
Yeah, come on, man. The world heavyweight champion, we will not allow to lose to a Nigerian giant in Puerto Rico. Yeah. Hey, do it for your Latin heritage, Seth. Let's go.
Could Seth freaking Rollins be the leader of the LWO?
At this point, yeah. Hey, he the only one that ain't got to use Eddie to get over.
Yeah, that is true. Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed for the United States Championship. Who you got?
All signs are still pointing to Austin Theory, but they drafted Bobby Lashley to SmackDown and Imperium as a whole to Raw. So I'm going to say Roberto Lashley is going to win the United States Championship at WrestleMania Backlash.
You sure did. Because that's who I'm going with as well. Roberto Lashley will win and take the United States Championship over to SmackDown. Which leads me to my top 4 for the WWE Championship. And let's just say, for instance, I got a theory to look out for.
Pun intended.
And yes, Bianca Belair versus Io Sky for the Raw Women's Championship.
Yeah, Bianca Belair. I love Io Sky, but this is still Bianca Belair's season. She is the new streak at WrestleMania. She's not losing at WrestleMania Backlash. It's that simple.
So last match on the card, man, Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest. Who we got?
Hey, listen. I'm picking Bad Bunny to give an incredible performance And shout out to Damian Priest for doing business on this level. You know, they have put him in the Bam Bam Bigelow spot. They have put him in the Big Show spot. I think this will be great, but Damian Priest got to keep it real. So I don't know who's exactly coming out to help him, but I do see a very big storyline / feud for Damian Priest going into this moment. I don't believe it's Rey Mysterio. I don't believe it's Edge. I think now they are officially trying to elevate Damian Priest somewhere else. I'm just curious to see where that else is, because there's no reason for Gunther to get involved in this match. So I don't want to say him. But somebody on this draft on Monday is going to insert themselves in that match. And that's why Bad Bunny wins. And that's when Damian takes his eyes off of Bad Bunny and gets to the shits with that man next Monday.
Well, look, man. Damian Priest is going to lose to Bad Bunny and eventually get kicked out of Judgment Day.
Oh, wow. Wow. I'm choked in my water. Wow. Okay. He that hot, huh?
I just don't see Bad Bunny losing to Puerto Rico.
Oh, yeah, no. I would be scared what the real life music fans would do if Bad Bunny lost in Puerto Rico. So I'm not picking Bad Bunny to lose this match.
So when you lose to Bad Bunny and you're in Judgment Day, you get looked at funny.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if Judgment Day all goes to SmackDown, that's gonna tell me a lot. Reason why? Simple. Because Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley would be on the same show.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's gonna happen.
No.
So, all right, man. So before we get out of here, I just want to go back to what I said, what I think is gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be surprised if the first WWE World Champion is Austin Theory.
Mm.
I got a feeling, Kemp.
Mm-hmm.
I just got a feeling that they're going to swerve us.
Mm.
And the first champion is going to be somebody that we least expect. Mm. They've done this a couple of times.
That is true.
They've done this when The Rock got his first belt at Deadly Game. They did this to us when Chris Jericho won his first belt, beating The Rock and Stone Cold in the same night.
Yeah.
They did this with Kevin Owens when he got the rub from Triple H and got the Universal Championship. They did shit before that. They did it with Finn Balor because we thought it was no way in hell Finn Balor was going to beat Roman Reigns for that championship.
Yeah.
Not only did he beat him, he fucked up his goddamn shoulder in the process.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking, Cody, Seth, yeah. Now that we see, Roberto over there, and then my thought process becomes, okay, who else?
Mm-hmm.
Austin Theory, yeah. Let's just say Finn Balor.
Mm-hmm.
Just got a feeling. Could potentially be the first holder of that belt.
Mm-hmm. Hey, it's a hell of a litmus test. I think, and you're not wrong for thinking that way, to be honest. Wow. I guess it never crossed my mind because I'm thinking about getting the belt over, but maybe they don't care about getting this belt over. Maybe they care about drawing as much heat as possible to the guy that just beat John Cena at WrestleMania.
Because then whether it is Cody Rhodes, because it'll be transitional. Because whether it's Cody Rhodes or whether it's Seth Rollins, you'll get the extra rub by beating that person. Jack Swagger's another person that shockingly, surprisingly. So he's going to be in that bucket. I got a feeling. Not guaranteeing it yet, but I got a feeling.
All right, man. Austin Theory, all he do is win titles, apparently, especially if you're asking JR Bang. We will see, though. But in the meantime, I do want to say one last word. Triple H, you lied, because this draft is kind of weak as hell. I was expecting a lot more, not only from the picks, but from the matches. When the Street Profits got drafted together, I was like, oh, well, maybe they're going to break up after this match. But no, they just got super over in Corpus Christi, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't really deliver on your promise, my brother. And that is unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. I don't see the landscape changing too much because this draft so far isn't even the draft from 2019 or maybe 2021 that ended up very top heavy, but then that roster still got beat by SmackDown. This ain't even that right now. So I hope this gets better. I'm praying for a better night too. I seen what was online. Boo. I don't care about a lot of that happening. That's why you left it online. Y'all didn't even WWE exclusive that with no content as far as I've seen so far. So boo to all of it. Let's get to what you said was supposed to happen on Monday to redeem yourself for the first half of this draft. Because right now, in the immortal words of JR Bang, this shit huff. But we appreciate y'all checking out this week's episode, man. You know, the likes, the comments, the shares, the questions, the engagement on the chat, even when it's this late in the evening, man. We appreciate y'all. Obviously, Bang and I could do this show without your support, but you being a part of the First Black Champ community makes it that much greater. So as always, we say, if you ever want to talk about wrestling in an unconventional way, you do so by checking out the First Black Champ podcast. Pick VPB. We are out. Cut Johnny Wrestling.
Damn. You went from fuck to cut.
Yeah, you know.
Kind of same shit, depending. No, it ain't.
Basically.